Hey there, everybody. Reed here, conductor at Orchestra Farm, with you by the glorious seashore on this fantastical autumnal day. You know, when I'm by the sea, and I love being by the sea, the water is one of my favorite places to be. I feel the currents, the water, turning things over and moving around. And there can be a lot of currents in life. You got your family, you got your self-care, you got whatever your jobs or work are, you got your hobbies and your things you like to do just for fun, for play. Maybe you also have gardens out there. There's any number of areas. And, you know, life changes. It's different for moments of things. We go from being little children when what we like at that time to being young adults and what we want at that stage in our life to being, adults and middle-aged adults and things we like at that point in time. It's very fascinating. To the inevitable old age, assuming that you live that long. And, there's no assumptions that you will. So it's good to appreciate and enjoy all little moments that happen. But oftentimes those transitions, they might take us by surprise or not be the easiest things to deal with. And I think about that while I'm by the sea, as the pebbles get turned into grains of sand to make those beautiful beaches that we love to walk across. And right now I got bigger grains of sand, lots of giant stone here. And, the tides go high and the tides go low. And all that stuff happens in life too. And the ability to breathe through those transitions, that can either bring a little bit of ease and grace to it, or just shut the whole thing down if we are trying to maintain a certain stage of life or a particular activity that we enjoy, because you never know, like maybe you suddenly lose the ability to move in the same ways that you have. That definitely happens to people out there. And how we greet those different changes is a big chunk of it. Like when I come to the sea, I can't tell, but it seems like the water's just happy to move back and forth and swish around this globe and move from place to place. And the stones and everything, they kind of seem at peace with the whole project that they're under of becoming smaller and finer and, more tumbled and smoothed out in the process. I think, when we start as babies, we're kind of rough around the edges in a lot of ways. And as we get older, hopefully we've matured and grown in our emotional intelligence to the point where we're not so rough around the edges anymore. Even if we can be direct and straightforward about things, which is always lovely. And I like to think about all these things when I'm walking by the sea and question, like, where in my own life do I have a rough edge that needs to get smoothed out? Where am I transitioning in my moment? How am I going to do that in the most graceful way? And also to both take the most advantage of the situation and time, because, I've got kids now. You only get so much time with your kids, not just because they grow older, but also because, they move away. I, for instance, live very far from my parents. And at this point in time, given the dynamics in the world stage, I'm not even sure if I'm going to see them again. That's some heady thought. There's a big transition there. It's one thing to lose a parent, it's another one to think, like, you may never see them again. And I'm definitely at that stage of things. I'm a mild pessimist in the regard of, I think as governments take more control, they're going to try to keep that. And so I don't necessarily know that we're going to go to what life used to be. In fact, I think it's silly to think that you will. I don't think we live like we did in the Middle Ages, nor do I think we live at the time of the French Revolution, nor at the time when we were back doing cave paintings and all the things. We just keep on progressing. And it's silly to try to, jump backwards. I'm not about to become an Amish person, although what up to all my Amish audience out there. Love you guys. So, to move gracefully with the transitions, and to recognize that there's only so much time, and it shrinks all the time, just less and less and less of it. until we realize we're on Einstein time and that we're creating time and making more and more and more of it, which is great, but there are some things that are out of our control. And to recognize that, like, yeah, I don't control everything in the universe. I'm not an almighty being in that regard, omnipotent to the nth degree, and I'm okay with that. I think that a lot of us have to come to terms with that and realize, yeah, I am not playing God right now. And even if I were to play God, it would only be in a select area of something because, we've got CRISPR technology out there and we can do that kind of stuff. Talk about transitions. Yeah. How are we going to transition with synthetic biology coming onto the scene and all this other genetic manipulation that's taking place? I don't know. I don't have those full answers. I do like to think about it, though, because we're at this time of great transition. The fourth industrial revolution is alive and well. And how are we progressing with that? Are you about to lose your job because it's about to be automated? Are you thinking about what brings meaning to your life and how you derive meaning from the things that you do or don't do? These are all lovely things to question and think about. And, I think it's better to have a good question than a good answer. Because the reality is, even when you come up with a good answer, it's likely something else is going to change and transition, and that the answer you came up with is going to need to get redefined. And until that time, I'm looking at all these lovely little heart-shaped rocks and oyster shells along this particular bit of rock-facing seawall. It reminds that people out there care. They care a lot. We actually do want to leave the world a better place for the future generations. And we all might have different ideas of what that means and looks like, but I, in general, basically trust that we're moving in that direction and that we'll transition well. And there might be a lot of conflict and turbulence along the way, but, when you're driving a car at maximum speed and there's a collision in the road, it might be a bit messy for a moment. Those are the transitions you can't always expect. And so, I hope you all out there are able to keep a free and clear mind, to make decisions for yourself, to be influenced by your heart, spirit, that you're able to look out on the world and recognize the beauty that's all around us. And with that, smile. This is Reed, conductor at Orchestra Farm, wishing you all a beautiful day today. Remember, you can check me out on bendingreeds.com. That's bending reeds, plural, because there's so many different parts of me. Some people out there are like personalities on the internet. I feel like I'm more of a character. If you peel back the layers on that website, you might see some of the other parts of my character. Anyway, wishing you all the best. Have too much fun. Like and subscribe. We'll catch you next time. All the best.